Remember a few months ago when I sold my big M32 console and showed you this newer, smaller setup, and I didn't have a case because the stage box is a shallow depth and the mixer is a weird dimension. It's neither shallow nor standard depth. If I use a shallow case, it doesn't fit in it. If I use a standard depth case, it's just half of it will be empty. And the guy told me at the store that, oh, we don't have it right now, but we will restock. Come back in 3 weeks. And I came back, well, nothing. Called him a few months later. He didn't even try to bother telling me that they were gonna restock. He was just like, no, we don't have. Then I remembered that like 5 or 6 years ago, I worked with somebody who told me once that he knew someone that makes flight cases. And I remembered that and I contacted that person and I was like, do you have the contact of that guy that makes cases, and does he still work? Can you send me his number? And he sent me his contact and I contacted him and I went to his shop and I ordered a custom case, exactly the size that I needed because I couldn't find any other cases. I removed the tiny rubber feet on the bottom of the stage box and the mixer with a small flat head screwdriver, and if you're doing that, don't push too hard in order not to scratch the paint, but they are just glued on, and if you keep them, it will not fit in the case because the mixer is 1 unit and the stage box is 3 units, and these rubber feet add to it. So if you don't remove them, they simply will not fit inside the case. Even on Thomann, I only found one case that is the depth that I need. And where I live, we don't have access to online shopping like Sweetwater or Amazon or Thomann or these things. So I don't have any other choice other than make a custom case. And if I were to buy it online, it would have cost me $270 American. And this one cost me $205, which is great. And it's built like a tank, unlike the previous Pro L case that I had. This is not sponsored, by the way. I don't care. I can talk whatever I want about any brand. The previous case was very flimsy. The butterfly locks on the doors were wiggly. If you touch them with your finger, even if they are closed, they would wiggle and I would feel like they may open on their own. These are very solid. Now I'm flipping the mounts of the power strip. I don't know what you call it in English, the thing that you plug your power cables into. I'm flipping it around because otherwise it would not fit because its cable is on the bottom, so it would come in contact with the stage box and it would not fit otherwise. Now, like this, it's sticking out, but it's okay because the door of the case has some space, so even if I close it, I'm not pushing on it. There is space inside. And I paid for this $55 American. I feel like it's a bit expensive, to be honest. But again, I don't have that many choices, so I just have to accept what exists. Cable management. Look at me struggle to fit the power cables neatly so it doesn't look like a mess. I'm putting them underneath the power strip. I'll just call it power strip. I'm not sure what it's called. And there's enough space underneath it. And the reason I put it that way instead of flipping it over and having the cables toward the inside is that if I did that, I could not unplug cables anymore or plug something else. It would be nearly impossible. So I flipped it that way, and that allows me also to put all the cables underneath it. And I made sure to scooch them over to one side in order not to cover the fan of the stage box. And these two power adapters are for the wireless routers because why have one if I can have two? And also the mixer does not have a control surface, so I connect one router directly to the mixer and the other router to the first router. So I can place them far away from each other and still have connection because I really get anxious if I lose connection with the mixer in the middle of the show, and it happened a few times. Now with routers, even if your iPad or tablet or phone shows you that you still have range and good enough connection, if you are in a crowded place with a lot of networks and you get disconnected, it's really difficult to connect again. Sometimes it takes a lot of time to gain connection and sync the app back to the mixer. And if something bad could happen, it will probably happen when you least want it to happen. Now, these butterfly locks, I think they are called butterfly locks, they are amazing. When you turn them, they suck the door in, they pull it in properly like they should, and they take quite a bit of force to turn them, so I don't worry that they may open on their own like the previous case. That's solid. These are the rubber feet of the mixer and stage box. I kept them and stick them one to another so that they don't catch dust and they don't stick to other things. And they will still stick if you want to use them again. They are very sticky, like you could just put them and you'll be good. And that's it. Yeah, I'm really happy with that case.